up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss. You are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found and taped live on the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, where the holiday spirit is in full effect. We crossed 1,000 subs. Road to 1,000 subs is complete. Oh my God!
Get that feed hole of yours ready for something blazing hot, Steve.
Time for a hot something challenge. That's the deal.
If I could procure us something hot and spicy in time for Wednesday's NXT AEW double watch along, or should we reserve a special event for such an occasion?
Oh, we got to make this a special event, man. This is good. You know us. We got to do a special thing. We'll do like a 6-hour gaming stream, and in the middle of it, good. We'll do a thing in the new year. I think good. That's a good plan. I like making. It'll be the next Friendo Fest.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man. Wow. Gee whiz.
Thank you so much.
Your generosity, the Friendo community really is the best. It's not just them opening up their wallets, man. They're just awesome people. They're just terrific people.
You got that right.
Yeah, a lot of good energy to wash our mouths clean of that Raw we had tonight. Hey, but things are looking up, Larson. We always got Legends Week. Remember when wrestling was good? We're gonna remember those days in 2 weeks on January 4th to try to boost ratings for a single week.
You want to see how desperate we are to try to get close to 2 million viewers in 2 weeks?
Isn't it so
We're going to wheel out a bunch of old farts.
Very transparent when there's always a record low rating. What did we get 2 weeks ago, or two years ago, rather? We had the McMahon shakeup, something. Oh, hey, we're definitely changing things creatively. Didn't happen. And then I don't know if there was one of these last year or what, but, now we've got Legends Night coming because I don't know, there was one of the reports coming out was saying that maybe they're going to see the Royal Rumble as their clean slate to start things anew creatively.
I mean, in a lot of respects they could have done that, started that process tonight. So you had the Miz, let's jump right into this.
Yeah.
So you had the Miz lose his Money in the Bank briefcase at TLC. He tried to cash in, lost. Or he cashed it. He did cash it. No trying. He did. There's no ambiguity about the situation. As much as WWE Creative and Miz might try to put that upon us, there's no ambiguity about it. He cashed it.
Mm-hmm.
You have that out of the picture. No one wants to see Miz as champion. Miz as champion is bad for business at this juncture because they booked Miz and Morrison as complete clowns and buffoons.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take them seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You got that out of the way. It's gone. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, it's done.
It's gone. It's out of there. You don't have to worry about it. You have to mention it. Done.
Yeah.
If he wants to mention it, do the segment where he apologized to AJ. I don't really think he has anything to apologize for. Nonetheless, you do that, you move on. But then you put Omos says something like, why are you standing up for Morrison, Miz? He's the one that cashed in for you or something like that.
Omos should talk more, by the way.
He should. He's good.
I like him.
And then it puts the thought in Miz's head, oh, I didn't cash in, even though the only thing he didn't do was physically hand the briefcase to the referee. He did everything else.
He participated in the damn match, and the ring announcer said he's cashing in.
Yes,
I mean, dude,
we're
not privy to the contract details of.
Dude, if the rule book's any indication, that thing's just like a doodle pad, a page from a doodle pad. Well, you can scribble whatever you want on
Otis's contract was from 2016.
It was Sheamus's.
But it did look like an actual, like there was actual writing on it.
It did.
Maybe we should go back and inspect that. I would think, man, if you participate in the match, you're in the damn match. If you've done cashed in, it's silliness, and it's so insulting to everybody's intelligence for them to even broach this subject. Because here's my thing, and it's asinine, generally speaking. So when Miz started getting on Otis about being a crappy Money in the Bank winner, you sort of knew, oh, okay, so they're going to do a thing and Miz is getting the contract. That's what's they telegraph these things a mile away. The fact that they even referenced it tonight, he's getting the briefcase back. That's happening, and it's the stupidest damn. I didn't even think they could sink that low in stupidity, but they are.
Yet they can. You're going to quit if Miz gets that briefcase back.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's an asterisk to that. I'm quitting the Raw recaps if he gets the brief for the period of time that he has the briefcase, I'm quitting the Raw recaps.
Well, that's okay.
I'll take some of this sub money and give it to the enforcer to watch this crap. Have him do it. Have him suffer.
Wow. I mean, he does so much for us, and then you put him on the spot like that. Rude.
I can't quit the Raw recaps, man. I can't quit that. It's my job. But, it makes me want to when I see crappy creative like that. No, you're right, dude. Tonight was an opportunity for creative to, hey, we had a really low number. We're coming off of a TLC that was actually wildly fun. And, in fact, I really actually appreciated the Fiend segment tonight, or the Alexa Bliss segment.
That's pretty much the lone real high spot of the show.
I mean, dude, the wrestling sometimes is fun. Like, the main event was a mess, but I thought it was a relatively fun main event.
Mess. That main event was a mess. How do you have a street fight and 95% of the action takes place inside the ring? And they're adhering to tag rules. It's a street fight.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have to tag anybody in or out.
That part is true. That part's done. Nobody's wearing jeans
insulting
either.
Our intelligence. The jeans, whatever. That's kind of a superficial thing. That's just a trope.
Whoa, buddy.
It's not essential.
Whoa, buddy.
It's a street fight. All of that crap said around ringside. Why are you bothering tagging? There's no street fights are no disqualification. That's the nature of a street fight.
That was a little confusing. But
again, insulting our intelligence.
People went through tables. Eggnog was spilled. I was okay with that.
Yeah, the last 10% of the match.
Yeah, that's true.
The first
that should have been an eggnog spot immediately.
The first 15 minutes of the match, it was just like a normal tag match. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there watching it, kind of forgotten it was a street fight. I noticed, like, with the tables ringside, like, this is a street fight. Why are they wrestling in the ring?
It's a holiday street fight, too.
It's like coming out of TLC, TLC kind of put a spotlight on what WWE can do right. Because by and large, it was a really enjoyable show. Advanced some stories. It was fun. And then it seemed like this Raw was like, okay, let's showcase everything else we can do, which by and large, with some exceptions, is not really working right now.
Yeah.
Like the Hurt Business, I really enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah, they're great.
But then they have them out there doing the VIP lounge, and then they have Riddle and Jeff Hardy come out.
And it just
kills the whole segment.
Dead.
Kills the whole segment.
I legitimately laughed when R-Truth was in the background for the picture. And then as soon as I saw the 24/7 division come running out, I'm like, this is an endless... It lost any semblance of humor literally a year ago or more. I forget when they debuted this thing, but it's done. It's dead. It is so dead as a gag. It's dead.
And rather than just have it happen and move on and just go to next segment, then they have Riddle and Jeff Hardy come out, and Riddle is just spouting off the most obvious scripted dialogue that could ever be handed to him.
And you could feel people tuning out when he's just
him forgetting his line,
trying to remember what the hell he's supposed to say.
Oh,
what the fuck, man? What the fuck? You could literally feel people tuning out.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like, they're not. They have zero chemistry, these two guys. They're both phenomenal. No. Jeff Hardy still does stuff that is absolutely, like, jaw-dropping, death-defying. I mean, his match with Elias, which was actually a really fun match when Elias electrocuted himself, which was a fantastic spot. Jeff Hardy's a terrific wrestler. Matt Riddle is a terrific wrestler who should be in a serious feud with Bob Lashley for that U.S. title. They really should be doing that right now. Yeah. But instead, the Hardy Bros, they have no chemistry.
None. This over-scripting of Riddle's promos is so bad. It's so damn bad.
It's killing him, man. It's killing him. And he'll still put on really, really great matches.
Yeah, he'll always deliver in the ring, and that'll keep him afloat.
Sure, yeah.
But, man, it's like, in terms of talent level, we say this several times, in terms of pure talent level, this roster is probably the best WWE's ever had.
Yeah.
In terms of in-ring ability.
Yeah.
And we say this over and over again. There's at least a dozen people on this roster now that could be huge mainstream crossover stars. If they knew how to, WWE knew how to tell stories with these people.
Yeah,
and right now, apart from Roman Reigns, that's the one guy they're really hitting out of the ballpark with right now.
Yeah.
Everything else is middling for the most part, or worse.
Yeah, it's either middling or, I mean, there's you can see some little hints of life
Yeah.
Like The Fiend. That stuff is really good. Sort of lives on an island. I mean, you're never going to get like any crossover stuff with The Fiend. Anyways, yeah, like you said, let's just hop into it. So it kicks off with Charlotte Flair. And it's about 15 minutes just straight of awkward dialogue between Charlotte. She comes out. She says, when a friend asks for help and there's something in it for me, I respond.
They've been friends.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they are professionally respect each other enough to become friends. I'm okay with that because
they make people friends on TV when it's convenient for them story-wise.
There's that too.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
She says, my friend, the people they call the heartbeat of the Thunderdome, Asuka. Asuka comes out, says they weren't ready for my partner, the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte says, we need to talk about the Raw Women's Championship. So, she says friend to friend. So obviously she came back in order to challenge Asuka. That was part of the conditions of her deal.
So she's interrupted by Shayna and Nia. They walk down the ring. Nia tells Charlotte, hey, it's good to see you. It took 6 months for your broken arm to heal. Hasn't cured you of your robotic voice, though. And then Charlotte says, well, I kicked your ass last night. And Nia has a holiday story. They, too, have a naughty or nice list. However, Shayna adds that they don't hand out coal to those who are naughty. They hand out beatings. Seasons beatings. Just ask Asuka's last tag team partner, Lana, Kyrie before that. Anyways, Mandy and Dana walk out to the ramp. And they're like, hey, Nia and Shayna, you look different. And then they start comparing them to reindeer. Is that what I gathered? It was really confusing.
So she said, what did she say? Nia, the only thing Nia likes is a set of antlers. I don't know. And Nia's actually, oddly enough, the most charismatic person in the ring at this point in terms of selling the whole thing. I mean, Asuka's great no matter what. I take her maybe for granted in this. But like Nia looked horribly offended at this. I don't know. I don't know what this meant.
I was trying to keep write notes while listening to this. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't compute. It's going through my ears, but I can't translate that to what I could type. I just didn't understand it. It made no sense. It made no sense. Anyways, there's a roundabout way of saying you're not the tag champs anymore. So they get in the ring, and Charlotte's like, oh, why don't you two teams have a match? So Mandy and Dana and Nia and Shayna, you have a match, and we're going to go on commentary. So that's what happened.
Yeah, so they had a match, and the match was decent. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, they're pretty decent in the ring.
Yeah.
They told a bit of a story. Mandy, they isolated Mandy, worked over her leg. I do appreciate that Dana Brooke seems to be the one person who continually knows how to evade the elbow stomp from Shayna. Yeah. So I like that she has that in her repertoire. There's consistency there. But then right after she does that, she ends up tapping out to the Kirifuna clutch. So
so afterwards, Nia and Shayna, they're staring at Asuka and Charlotte from the ring to commentary, and then Dana and Mandy come from behind them and just dump them out.
Yeah.
Next, we're backstage, Hurt Business. They're walking up to some dude. He's got a brand New Day shirt. MVP suggests you need a wardrobe change. Lashley rips the shirt off the dude's back, and Shelton puts a Hurt Business shirt on him, but just kind of over his head and down his body. Dude couldn't get his arms through the armholes.
It was pretty funny. Because he just closes. These guys never know how to act right whenever they do this stuff. He looked like he was, I don't know. Anyways, after that, we had the Champions edition of the VIP Lounge. MVP kicks things off, and he does his whole VIP Lounge promo shtick thing. Shelton gets on the mic, says, last night we proved why we're better than any tag team in the locker room. And then Cedric, Prime Alexander, interrupts him and says, especially the New Day. And you look at Shelton's face, and he's like, oh, that's annoying. He says, we're not. Good. He says, we're not surrounded by unicorns and pancakes. We're surrounded by champagne and gold. Calls himself Cedric Prime Alexander. Then Lashley gets on the mic, says, there's not a man alive who can beat me for this title. MVP then says he's invited a photographer to take a picture to digitally capture the moment.
You remember when they did this thing with the Hurt Business before, when they were, I think it was just MVP, Lashley, and Shelton. But then as they were taking the pictures, they actually showed the pictures.
Yeah.
At least they didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean that would have been some long-term consistency right there, man. When the Hurt
man.
Business are taking pictures, we immediately see the feed.
We immediately see those pictures.
Yeah. So, anyways, the photographer starts taking them, and then this did make me laugh. R-Truth gets
That was
like
funny.
on the turnbuckle back there, and he's posing with his 24/7 championship. I'm
pretty funny.
hoping that picture might have made it to Twitter by now because it might be a funny one.
be.
So we mentioned this. Out comes the 24/7 division. They sort of run around. They go around the trees and everything. They end up leaving. Hardy and Riddle come out. Riddle, MVP says, "Hey, you weren't invited." You see the 24 division like run back behind Hardy and Riddle, and it's corny, and yet it's stilted and awkward. It's supposed to be this madcap thing, but madcap is never stilted and awkward, and that's what it is. And I know that it probably makes Vince McMahon laugh, but dude, it's done. It's just beat dead into the ground.
Yeah.
So Riddle says, "Why are you spending so much money at the club? Chill out and relax with the homies, grill up some tasty treats, get toasted, listen to Joe Rogan or watch some Chappelle, escape the day-to-day grind." And it's endless. It's just nonsensical crap.
And he starts talking about how, at the end of the day, we're all the same. We're all carbon matter on a rock hurtling through space.
It's awful. Hardy interrupts and says, I think what he's saying is, we're not about being rich. He says, rather die proud than live a life of greed. And something about you can't buy our faith or something like that. I don't know. It was really lame. And then that's it.
Then we had
right?
Drew Gulak.
Yeah, then we had a
Angel
Drew
Garza,
Gulak versus Angel Garza match.
Where Drew Gulak hit like 2 elbows, and that was it during the course of this match. Angel Garza dominated after throwing his pants at him. Before that, he did an interview with Sarah. Said it's the holiday. What better way to celebrate to all the women in the world other than to give him the gift of Garza? He gives Sarah a rose. Says he'll be thinking of her, and after his win, maybe she can interview him under some mistletoe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we had a really short match between these two. Garza won with a wing clipper.
Yep. After that, AJ and Omos backstage. AJ kind of walks into an interview. He's asked about Miz getting involved in his match against Drew at TLC. He says he's hot. He's angry. Says the Miz screwed him out of the title. And then he's asked, well, why be on Miz TV then? He says he wants to know what Miz has to say for himself. And for Miz's sake, it better be good. So it's the top of the second hour. It's time to just stop the show absolutely dead and have a Miz TV segment.
Yeah, dude, these things need to go away. They really should consider having a match where Miz TV is on the line and the dirt sheet thing is on the line, and then Miz loses it. That's it. No more of these things.
Miz needs a complete reinvention at this point.
It's a terrible crutch. It's so boring. So anyways, this little bit from the Miz where he talks about failing his family because he didn't successfully cash in. He owes an apology to
that
AJ Styles.
Actually wasn't bad, but I felt like it was all immediately undone when he was like, "Oh, I can just get the briefcase back."
It was undone when he did the Marine gag, which I actually thought was kind of funny because almost then piped up, and that was kind of funny. AJ's little tiny head on the thing was kind of funny. But I mean, it was basically sort of a, Miz can do the thing where he can cut a passionate promo. We saw obviously the biggest and best one of those was on Talking Smack years ago with Daniel Bryan. That was like a moment, a really great moment. And he did that here, but it's just when it's surrounded by so much prefab garbage, it falls flat. So he apologizes to AJ and offers him, as a peace offering, the chance to be in the Marine 7. Then there's like a really bad Photoshop of the Marine 7 poster on the Tron with Omos in the background and then a little tiny AJ in the background. So AJ starts yelling about that. They all start yelling at each other. Omos points out that Morrison cashed in, not the Miz. Then you see the gears start spinning in Miz's head.
Yeah.
And he
AJ
says,
and Morrison are talking crap to each other. Yeah,
they're all fighting. He stops him. He says, wait a second. You're totally right. I didn't cash in. I want my Money in the Bank briefcase back. But instead of any movement on that, Drew McIntyre interrupts. Him and Keith Lee and Sheamus all come out and read like a little holiday poem.
Oh, it was not good either.
And then they all just end up fighting. And then they're going to have a match later. But, so before all that happens, though, AJ ends up kicking Keith Lee into Sheamus. He was loading up for a bro kick on The Miz. But that gets Sheamus mad at Lee because they're all booked like dullards. Like clearly, and they're like, "Oh, let's watch this back and see if it actually happened." And it's like, "Yeah, I just watched it. Of course, AJ."
It's an accident.
That's one of my pet peeves. Also, when an obvious accident, what a great way to be frozen for you. Somebody clip this, please.
I know. It's like there's
you're captured like this.
Oh. Yeah, no, I know. I can put it together. Yeah, I know. It's one of those things that just really, again, insulting the viewer's intelligence. It's an obvious accident. And I understand Sheamus is a bit of a hothead. But at the same time, like, just watch the footage. Calm yourself down. Watch the footage. It's an obvious accident. I know. It's like, this is a situation where there's the ingredients for something interesting they do, but then they do this lazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just this lazy stuff. And we're supposed to just roll with it. And it's a tired trope that they wheel out whenever they want to force some tension between people.
I'm just really curious, and I mean, look, here's the thing. This is one of the things that actually does transcend WWE. Everybody does the accidental shove. Everybody does it. Every promotion does it. I hate it. I think I've always hated it. It never makes sense because a simple, small communication, is, hey, I just got pushed into you. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
And then it should, like a lot of normal people, it would be quashed. But so anyways, after that, we get a Retribution promo where Ali once again is talking about Ricochet. Says, you think one man can change everything? That's a lie. You should be standing next to us. Backstage, Drew McIntyre is trying to calm down. Oh, hold on.
You forgot the announcement of Legends Night.
Oh, I forgot where that was. That
was right here, January 4th, 2021. Get excited, everybody.
Brother.
Hogan, Flair, Tori Wilson.
Where's Taker? He's a legend.
Yeah, but he was just on Survivor Series. It's too soon to bring him back. It's too soon.
Too soon. Plus, I'm not going to be seen in the ring with Hogan. It's awkward now because I told that story. You got me, brother.
So then we had Keith Lee and Sheamus backstage. They're arguing. Drew comes in, breaks it up, tells Sheamus it was an accident. Go cool down. So Sheamus leaves. He turns to Lee and he goes, I know it was an accident, but Sheamus, he's my brother. But here's the thing. If the three of us get the same page, imagine the damage that we could do together.
Mm-hmm.
Cool? And Lee says, I got it.
Yeah.
Everything seems cool.
Oh, was Sid in the package?
Oh, man, I didn't notice that.
No, I don't think he was. Somebody just said Sid can move the needle, which is totally true.
Well, with us.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be in the thumbnail. If Sid's on Legends Night, he's in the thumbnail, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah. Sid's my favorite best, worst wrestler of all time.
And you know what's funny is that that extends to shoot interviews, too. They're the best, worst shoot interviews.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazingly bereft of information.
Hey, Sid, what do you feel about the Montreal screw job? And he just recounts what happened.
He just recounts what happens as if he saw, like, the trailer for Wrestling with Shadows.
Yeah. So after that, we got T-Bar, Dijak versus Ricochet. Ricochet is off to a fast start. Dijak makes a comeback. Eventually, the rest of Retribution tries to get involved. Ricochet drop kicks Slapjack off the apron. Takes out Mace with the moonsault off the ring steps. Dijak decks him from behind. And then Ali gets in Ricochet's face. Hey, you belong with us. Ricochet starts punching Ali a ton. Dijak grabs him. Feast your eyes to get the W. They let Dijak talk. He tells Ricochet that we are not your enemy. We are your ally. Join us or we'll end your existence.
Yeah, that was messed up. Something tells me Dijak does not like wrestling in a mask. He's like 3 steps too slow. None of the cool stuff that he brought to the table as a professional wrestler is present in the presentation of T-Bar.
Who would have thunk that would happen on the main roster of WWE?
Right? It's such a shame. Anyways, we have a segment, a little interview from earlier in the day. Seems like New Day was possibly at catering, and they went up to him, asked him about the title loss. They basically not sweating it one bit. We've already had this thing a million times.
We bounce back.
Exactly. The teeth bit was kind of nasty. Kofi Kingston posted his teeth that came out on Twitter, and Shelton Benjamin mocked him. It was pretty funny.
That's pretty great.
So after that, we had, speaking of the Hurt Business, we had MVP and Lashley versus the Hardy Bros. And yeah, this was, look, dude, they're all good wrestlers. That bit where Lashley pushed Hardy off the top turnbuckle
into the corner of the ring steps.
The corner of the ring steps, ate some shit there. Barely beat the 10 count to get back in. Lashley started working that arm like a maniac. Eventually, he's able to hit Whisper in the Wind on MVP. Got a hot tag on Riddle. Cedric Prime Alexander distracted him, but he was able to hit a Broton and a Fisherman suplex on MVP. Lashley breaks it up, tags in. Hardy's in. Riddle flies out with an assist from Hardy to take out Hurt Business at ringside. Hardy misses a swanton, counters a spear, but Lashley countered a twist of fate with the Hurt Lock. Hardy once again taps out.
Yep.
Really fun match, though.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We got a quick bit with Miz Morrison and AJ arguing backstage. After that, Elias promo. Again, putting over Jackson Riker. He's heard the universal truth. He has been reborn through Elias's music. He's about to test the power of his music. Tonight, he's interrupted by Lucha House Party. A really brief match between Gran Metalik and Jackson Riker. Elias starts the match sitting on the top turnbuckle, singing a song until Metalik hits him with the Rana. It was actually a pretty fun spot where Elias drops the guitar into Lince Dorado's hands, followed by the Rana.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Riker then hits Metalik with the clothesline, hits sit down choke bomb to get the W.
Mm-hmm. Newsmax's favorite wrestler picking up the win there. You see those? You see Newsmax having to read that apology and the retraction because apparently the Dominion voting system or somebody sued the crap out of him.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard they're going to start filing some suits for defamation or something.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
they read today like they like in 3 different segments with 3 different anchors the same written statement, and they all say the exact same thing about how they have no evidence of any of the stuff that they said. It's kind of funny. Anyways, after that, Randy Orton comes out. He drops a promo. Talks about burning the Fiend alive. Said a normal person would have regrets if they set another man on fire. Says the Fiend is no man and I am no normal person. Last night I enjoyed every single second as I watched the Fiend burn. He talks about the stench of burning flesh. He says, but the voices in my head were gone when I went to sleep last night. The only thing I'm hearing is the Fiend gasping for his last breath as those flames grew higher and higher. The Fiend is gone, the Fiend is no more, and I am the evil son of a bitch that took him out. This was great. So lights go down, and they get a great close-up on Randy, and he starts saying, no. Like, he starts freaking out a little bit. He leaves the ring, and then the lights come, like a pink and a blue light come back on.
Yeah.
A spotlight on Alexa Bliss. She's now with an entire like playground set in the middle of the ring, swinging on a swing, and she says, expecting someone else? He built this for me. We'll just call it Alexa's Playground for now. I bet you're wondering where he is. He could be at a tanning salon. He was looking kind of pale yesterday. Maybe the beach, but I hope he doesn't get sunburned. He could be out eating barbecue. It's almost as if he was absorbed into the mat under the ground. He's home now. Dude, if they're doing Raw Gate Mutant Larson, I want a little piece of that merchandise money.
You got that right.
She says, but if he ever leaves home, he may come back to Alexa's Playground, and if he does, it'll be nothing like you've ever seen before. The lights go out, and they just cut to commentary instead of going to a commercial or something. Commentary talking about the Fiend being burned alive and then having to pivot to women's tag team action is actually pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
They have no idea what to say.
That match, Asuka and Charlotte taking on Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans. Before this bout, Lacey and Peyton had an interview. They're really pushing the idea that they basically don't like each other. They're up for the challenge. Lacey says, yes, they requested the match. They're not sitting around waiting for opportunities. They bicker some. Lacey leaves. Peyton says, it's actually me who requested match. And the whole match, they're not on the same page. They're tagging themselves in and out. No teamwork, no chemistry whatsoever. Even though they have the upper hand, Asuka is isolated. Eventually, though, Asuka hits Peyton with a German suplex, gets tagged to Charlotte. She goes on a run until Peyton kicks Charlotte's knee, sinks in a single leg crab. Asuka breaks that up, kicks Lacey Evans in the head, and then Charlotte puts Peyton Royce in a figure 8. Peyton taps. And next we got the scene backstage that probably filled Steve with dread. Miz is on the phone, I assume with his agent.
Yeah, the lawyer guy or whatever got him that.
Yeah. Saying, talk to the USA, talk to someone WB, I want my contract back. Anyways, AJ walks up to him, tells Miz, hang up the phone, we have a match. Miz is still talking. AJ hangs up the phone for him. You know what? I don't want AJ to be in a feud with the Miz anytime soon. But if that's what we get short term from this, and not Miz getting that contract back, or better yet, what if Miz and AJ have a match for the contract?
Is that a caveat? Is that a I'm not cool with this, but if it leads to AJ getting the contract, I'd actually be okay with it.
I feel like some semblance of order returned the universe from what happened at Money in the Bank when it slipped out of his hands, AJ's hands, and fell in Otis's. Yeah, things will be as they should have been all along if that were to happen.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. So yeah, then we get our main event. Yeah, that's when we get our main event. So yeah, like we mentioned sort of at the head of the show, relatively fun match. Mid-match.
Well, the last like 10% was fun because everything else before that was just like standard tag match.
Yeah, I didn't write any notes for that. I mean, I have here mid-match, Sheamus and Keith Lee sort of team up, and then Sheamus gives him the nice job slap on the back. Keith Lee, of course, has to do it back. And then it culminates with him giving Drew a double chop to the chest.
That was pretty good.
Drew has to break them up before they go to commercial. The next big moment came when you got team faces working well with each other. AJ ends up dumping Sheamus through a table. Sheamus comes back, hits a white noise on Styles. It's always fun to see people throw Morrison around. That guy, man.
Yeah, he bumps.
He bumps big time. They have a brief. AJ lays into Drew with a candy cane kendo stick. Then he eats a powerbomb through a table with a bunch of eggnog on it. It's crazy that AJ will do that one day removed from that TLC match.
With like a gash on his cheek.
Yeah. I like this like the little bit where Morrison and Sheamus were down ringside going at it with kendo sticks, and it looked like Morrison was trying to do real lightsaber moves. He was like doing shit like this with it. It was pretty. That dude, you know, they're leaving so much on the table with Morrison, man. I'm telling you, like.
Well, you could say they're leaving so much on the table with insert wrestler name here, you know?
Yeah, I know. Especially with Morrison, though. Like, the dude, during his lengthy time away from WWE, like, he starred in a movie or two, in that Boone movie, and then probably a couple others. He did the Lucha, Boone. He did the Lucha Underground stuff. Like, his comedic timing is really good. And he does look like he's having a fun time just goofing around with The Miz. But he could be doing so much more.
Oh, yeah. Again, insert wrestler name here. So anyways, Drew sets up for a Claymore. Sheamus tags himself in. He sets up for a bro kick. Keith Lee tags himself in. He pushes Morrison out of the ring into the hands of Omos, who catches him, proceeds to drop him directly through a table.
That was pretty funny.
Ringside. And then Lee hits Miz with a spirit bomb for the win. And then the faces celebrate for a matter of a second or two. Sheamus lays out Keith Lee with a bro kick. And then Drew is giving Sheamus the business as Raw leaves the air.
Yeah. So there you go. Let's answer some questions.
Sounds good. We got a sub here, a gifted sub from Getterix6 to Adriana Chachik. Sorry if I got your last name wrong.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the subs and gift subs. Brian Luckman says, if Ricochet joins Retribution, does he get a new mask and name? And what would it be? Church Jackson responds, Prince Puma. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Mr. Forbes says, wasn't the last Legends night when they had that double Raw with the Legends being at MSG? That was Raw 20. No,
I know 25? Some people were saying that Raw Reunion was the last one. That was just a year ago, I think, or last year. Whenever that was. So there's been like three that I remember: the Raw 25, Raw 1000, and then Raw Reunion.
Raw Reunion, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's been plenty others, but. Raw Reunion 2019. July of 2019.
Which one was that one?
Was I gone for that? Or was I back already?
Could have been, depending where. What was the date?
July 22nd.
No, you were back by then, I think.
Was I? That might have been my first one back, maybe. Let's see here. Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, and Ric Flair lead a toast to Monday Night Raw. Yeah, that's when Austin was just talking a lot. Boogeyman's there.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Oliva says, would going in Raw lose financially if you were not to review Raw? Yeah.
Sorry,
Can't put a price on our sanity, though.
I'm a draw, people.
Broken wheelchair. I had the sound down so low while watching football, I forgot I had Raw on for the first hour.
Yeah. Alex Foster says, no question tonight. Just wanted to point out that Shelton Benjamin wore a Shad Gaspard armband when he and Cedric won the belts. I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. That's awesome. Read that one already. Lord Corgi, no jeans, just makes it a no DQ match. Yet no one really took advantage of those rules, whether it's street fight, no DQ.
Man, I know you downplay it, but you need jeans in a street fight.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying
that's the least
primary
of the
hallmarks of yes, exactly. When you're in a street fight,
let me ask you
everybody
this, though.
Stays in the ring for 90% of the bout.
Hold on a second, though.
What?
Don't act irritated with me. I'm trying to have a conversation. If everybody was wearing jeans, I probably wouldn't have noticed that it was all tag action in the ring because they're wearing jeans, so I know it's a street fight.
Like it took till the first commercial break, coming out of the first commercial break of that match. I guess the only commercial break, where I was like, wait, this is a street fight, but this match has not left the ring yet. Jeffrey Nerd says, when there is something in it for me, it's a Flair thing. Referring to Charlotte's comments at the beginning of the show.
Let's see here. Wolfpack for life. What's the point of having women's tag team championships when almost every tag team champion has either had the women's champion or the number one contender for the women's championship? That doesn't really bug me. People switch divisions and goals. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. That's like the least of my concerns. I mean, you can make a point when you say, what's the point of having that when they break up tag teams like the Iconics?
Yeah, I think that's the point. I mean, especially they break up teams like the Iconics and then have a put together team with no prior relationship as apart from adversaries. I might have been like Asuka and Charlotte.
I might have been tuning out when they did the interview, like when we were recapping the interview between Peyton and Lacey Evans. It's like it's anti chemistry. It's like
that's like the point of their thing, though, which is like why you're not no one's gonna get over from that.
Okay, so like Shayna and Nia are the ideal odd couple, right?
Yeah.
And if the idea is to recreate that kind of chemistry, that ain't happening.
No, I don't think that's the idea, though. I don't think they're doing a mismatched paired odd couple, if you will.
What do you think it is?
I think it's literally two people who don't want to be in a tag team together, but they have nothing else to do. I think that's the gimmick.
In kayfabe or out of kayfabe?
Yes, in kayfabe. Neither of them want to be there.
Well, hold on a second. Did Shayna or Nia want to be there?
Not at first, but they saw some success and they were cool with it. They're stuck in a tag team. It feels like their gimmick is, well, we want to be on TV. We want to be competitive in something. So we're formed this tag team, even though we can't stand each other. We constantly try to one-up each other. Man, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, dude. Like, seriously, like it's like they're kayfabe and bad creative. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, they know that we have no chemistry, and that's why we're together. It's crazy, man. It's like they're you mentioned this when you texted me. You said it's like they're trying to tank. They're trying to tank their season.
Yeah.
There's no process here, people. There's no process.
No, it just feels like tanking. Spider-Man 2007. Thank you very much. Says glad to support. Thank you. Excuse me.
Let's see here. Yeah.
Damian Sakharov says, my only explanation for why they need to tag in and out in a street fight of all things was that it wasn't under tornado tag rules. Like, but really, them tagging in and out is whatever. Tag in and out, but like take advantage of all the implements and weapons you have ringside, like immediately. It's akin to you're in a no DQ match, kick the other person in the balls right away.
A street fight should, if you're going to have a 6-man street fight, every guy comes to the ring with some sort of weapon because it's a street fight and jeans, but a weapon. And then they never even get on the apron Why are you on the apron? You should be fighting.
Doesn't make any sense.
It should all just be fighting.
Yeah. Ryan Luckman says, Power Rank top 5 people who shouldn't beat Drew for the title other than Miz and Morrison.
The top 5 who shouldn't beat Drew for the title other than Miz or Morrison.
Elias.
I mean, how far down do we go? Like, yeah, Elias, Jackson Riker, going in Raw Friendo, Lindsay Dorado, apparently. Moses Poses says, who should take the tag belts off of Asuka and Charlotte? You know what, man? Let the goddamn Riot Squad have a freaking day with the titles. You know, have them beat Asuka and Charlotte, who are hanging by a thread anyways. Hanging together by a thread because they're beefing over the Raw Women's Championship. Have Riot Squad, who have some really terrific tag team chemistry, have them beat and get that rub. And then give them a lengthy run, man. They're a terrific team.
They are good. They are good. Solus says, so obviously this is abysmal writing, and when we say they have no clue, we're talking about Vince because it's failing so hard. Is it just a case that Vince's ego just demands that he keeps doing the same things over and over regardless of the outcome? That first hour especially felt like it was written by Vince.
Yeah, and dude, in my mind, honestly, I have no idea. I'm not there. I have no idea. In my mind, it's just Vince and Bruce. It comes off like, having listened to so many of those wildly entertaining podcasts with Bruce Pritchard. He's a wonderful storyteller, and Conrad's a great interviewer. They have terrific chemistry. But hearing his philosophy on pro wrestling and how antithetical it is to any sort of complex tension or dramatics makes me think that, it's just him and Vince in a room. You know, maybe reviewing scripts, cherry picking the stuff that they think is funny, and it's not.
Yeah, or taking the stuff they think is interesting, funny, and then rewriting it so it's their vision for that particular segment as opposed to whoever initially created it.
Yeah.
Gareth Nicholas asks, would you rather see Joe leave WWE to wrestle in AEW or stay in WWE but never return to in-ring action? I want what's best for Joe and his health. If he's got potential concussion issues, and if it's best for him, if he thinks it's best for him to not wrestle ever again, then that's what he should do. If he thinks he still wants to wrestle and he thinks his body can handle it still, then by all means, love to see Joe back in the ring.
If he can wrestle and he wants to, Joe is an asset to any company, and I would love to see him anywhere. Anywhere. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Gaming with Cage, who had the better first year, Masked Kane at WWF or Crow Sting at WCW? Well, that first year at WCW, Crow Sting didn't do anything.
It was like 18 months before he had it wasn't like 18 months until it was like Starrcade. And it was like, I guess, mid-96 that he left and just started hanging out in the rafters. That was crazy that they waited that long.
You just drop from the rafters, beat people up with a bat, and that was it. You go to Robin Hood.
Go to Robin Hood. Robin Hood's next.
Yeah. I'd say Kane probably had a better first year in terms of actually doing things. I mean, Sting's stuff was probably more impactful, although Hogan tried all he could to devalue that.
Man, and then they gave him a massive, stupid contract. Gregory Fiella, in kayfabe, who let Alexa bring in a full swing set into the ring? Oh, nobody let her. In kayfabe, it manifested.
Yeah, magic. Powers and stuff. Night by night, what Raw superstars would you be most willing to invite to spend Christmas Day with your family?
What superstar would you most invite over to? Wait, what?
Be most willing to invite to spend Christmas Day with your family?
Jackson Riker.
Oh gosh. Why would you do that to yourself?
I wonder if he really learned anything from the Universal Truth, Larson. Or he still watches Newsmax.
I'd say Samoa Joe. He just seems like a fascinating dude.
He's probably got tons of great stories and
great stories.
Big time gaming guy.
Yes,
I'll play some Fall Guys with Joe.
Just a great damn conversationalist.
Yeah, man, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Ding MQ. So on Wednesday during the watch along, what will you guys be doing from when NXT ends until AEW starts? So that all depends on if the basketball game goes over. AEW slated to start at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Game goes late. I don't know. We'll just hang out and chit chat and stuff.
You can watch me play some Call of Duty and get my KDR up.
There you go.
In advance of the Thursday stream. Dog Authority figure. Who in Retribution has the highest ceiling? Dijak seems like the most Vince guy, but Ali has the most charisma and promo skills. It's Ali. He's got
Ali.
The highest ceiling.
Ali's a total package.
He really is.
Devmo, how long before Rikers himself out of his Elias partnership?
You know what's weird is that, like, why didn't they, like, okay, he clearly knows the fundamentals of wrestling and he can hit a sit-out power choke bomb, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Why didn't he wrestle before this? I mean, I remember that silly match of his in NXT where they had to do like a bunch of retakes. But like, he can do the basic stuff and he does look great. Like, I don't know why they just didn't have him wrestle. Like, why was it just the Forgotten Son, like the other two? That was weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm trying to find one more good one here.
All right.
Samuel Bronkowitz. Here we go. Is this how it's going to go down? This might make me quit Raw.
All right.
What are their chances Miz goes to Judge JBL again to plead his case? If it's a matter of JBL shooting him down, then I think I'd be okay with it. Because that was a relatively entertaining segment. If they just sort of write Miz off into like a comedy thing where he's trying to get the Money in the Bank briefcase back, but he fails, I'd be okay with that because Miz and Morrison can do comedy stuff, and they're not like, you know, being bugs in the main event scene.
Yeah. Jorge D. This is a fun one to end on. For each of you, choose a fast food restaurant and create a limited time special food or meal based on a WWE wrestler.
Well, clearly my restaurant is going to be Del Taco. What did Otis call himself when he was the El Gran Gordito? Is that what it was?
Something like
El
that,
Gran Gordo. It'd be the Del Gran Gordo.
That's good.
And it would be 2 chicken soft tacos rolled up into like a fried tortilla.
Oh, that's
so
good.
It'd be like the crunchy on the outside.
Soft taco chimichanga, essentially.
Yeah, like 2 of them rolled up into a chimichanga. I'll be honest with you, that sounds good. I might try that.
Yeah, I would too.
I know. I legitimately mean I might try doing that.
You should. That sounds really good. I don't know if there's any Boston Market still around, but it'd be Boston Market. You get a pound of ham, and it's Braun Strowman's Get These Hams meal.
That's good. That's really good.
Oh, it's lazy. It's really lazy.
The Del Gran Gordo. Holy shit. I'm going to make that.
That sounds good.
Maybe I'll do that for Friendoville, man. What if I, because it's like you get the crunchy, but then you also got the soft tortilla on the inside. That's good. Anyways, that's going to do it for us today. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll answer some of these questions we didn't get a chance to answer. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.